Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, January 20th, 2022. I had no idea, so I had to check it on the computer, but it is indeed January 20th, nearing the end of the month. And you know what, guys? Today, I'm not saying like winter's over by any means. I feel like we're still like not even in the middle of it. But I did notice today, as I was getting the kids ready for school, that it wasn't like completely pitch dark when I was starting to wake everybody up. So that means the days are slowly starting to get longer. So we'll take that as a plus. But I will say, though, on the other side, it was crazy cold. It was cold enough outside today that there were news crews out along the lakefront trying to capture footage of the cold weather, people bundled up along the lake. I did not get interviewed today, but there was definitely a camera guy filming me like as I was running for a long, it was like a 1 minute long shot. So like he's got the footage is there. I don't know which station he was with, but there was definitely a camera guy. So we'll see if I make it into any of the local news again today. So it's that cold. So for all of you guys listening on the podcast and the audio only version and are out there on the run, hopefully you're bundled up nice and warm and it's not too cold for you. And everyone watching this on YouTube, after the fact, it's Thursday, it's happy hour. So hopefully you are sitting back with a nice recovery beverage as I am. Today I'm going with a old reliable, just some Gatorade. I'm doing the Gatorade endurance formula and lemon lime. After I finished my run today, I was extremely hungry, which is not usual for me, but I was so hungry after my run. And now I scarfed out a bunch of food and now I'm super thirsty. So I'm like, all I can think about is how much of this Gatorade I want to drink. Tasty. All right. How's everybody doing in the chat? How you guys doing here? Randon Lewis says, hi, Co. Hi, everyone. What's going on? And Martha says, sorry, I missed yesterday's live stream, but I'm here early today. Awesome. Good to see you here. And JC says, the winter roller coaster continues and it's back down again. Yeah. You know, my watch, the weather forecast, everything said it was supposed to be like 12, 15 degrees for my run. But like they're also talking about how cold it was going to feel. So I was like, okay, I'll dress a little bit colder for colder weather. And then I got back, finished my run, and looked at it on Strava. And Strava has it as 8 degrees Fahrenheit with a real feel of -8. So I'm like, that aligns a little bit closer to kind of what it felt like out there for sure. So it's getting cold. Luis Sarah says, yo, what's going on? Tracy Smith says, hi, all. What's going on, everybody? And Stevie76 says, yo, what's going on as well? Randon Lewis asked a question, says Nova Blast or Nimbus? I mean, I like the Nova Blast. The Nimbus is, I think, the Nimbus 24 anyway. I still think that the trust stick system, even though it's a little bit, or it's a lot of bit pared down from what it's been in years past, and I think it's improved. It makes it a lot less clunky of a shoe. It still is, I think it's just interfering with the way my foot wants to hit the ground a little too much. And so it doesn't feel as smooth to me as I feel like that shoe could be with that great foam. So like as far as the Nimbus 24 versus the Nova Blast, I'll go with the Nova Blast. I'm excited for the Nova Blast 3. I'm starting to hear some rumors about what it's going to have, that it's going to have that Nimbus 24 Flight Foam Blast Plus foam. So that's very intriguing and very exciting. But don't have that one yet. I have the Nimbus, the Nova Blast 2, but I would still take the Nova Blast 2 over the Nimbus 24. Now the Nova Blast 2 over the Nimbus Light 3, that's a closer one, but I think I'd still probably go with the Nova Blast 2. Like if I could get that, like the feeling of the Nimbus Light 3 foam in kind of like the upper of the Nova Blast 2, I think that might be the best shoe. Although like the tongue on the Nimbus Light 3 is really nice. So I mean, I feel like we're comparing last year's with the new year's, and the new year they made a lot of changes. So it's going to be an exciting year for ASICS, I think. But of like the 3 that I mentioned, I think the Nimbus 24 is what I like the least. But I don't think that everyone has that problem. I think that just might be me in the weird way my foot hits the ground. But I feel what it ends up being is like I feel the gel in the forefoot, and it's a little bit awkward for me. All right. Daniel M says, it's in the 20s with the windshield in ATX. Is that Austin? Is that what the ATX? Yeah. That's got to be real. I mean, that's cold for Austin. Hopefully you guys don't get like snow and crazy weather like last year. That was bizarre. That was really bizarre. Yeah, Daniel M says it's a perfect texture for running. Here's the thing. I was getting ready to get like interviewed again because I saw 2 news crews out. I saw the ABC news truck out earlier today too, on the same run, but in an earlier spot along the lake. And I was ready for someone to jump out of the van and be like, "Hey, let me interview," but no one did, and that's okay. I just got interviewed on TV. But the thing is, I really want to, next time I get interviewed, say like, this kind of weather is perfect for running. It's a perfect texture. I want to be able to say that quote and deadpan and like be totally serious and see who gets it. But usually when the news crews are out there, it's so cold that my mind isn't working as well. So like I totally forgot about the perfect texture for running quote. Like I got to figure out a better way to remember that. So I think maybe on the days where like the news is like, it's going to be a super cold one tomorrow, those are the days I have to remind myself before the run. With it's so dry out, the snow, it's a perfect texture for running. All right, I hear my phone. Sorry about that, guys. It's really super loud too. Sorry about that. All right, X Truth says, just got my booster shot, hoping to be able to run tomorrow. All right, I feel like for the booster, I think I needed like a day and a half. So I think maybe, ease into it. But thanks for getting a booster. David K says, hey, y'all. And Michael Chang says, Kipchoge may run Tokyo. That's right. Japan Running News reported it. That's how I found out about it first. And I guess what he wants to do is win all 6 of the world marathon majors. So he's got to go get Tokyo. But that also means that he's going to have to try to win New York. Because he hasn't won New York, right? Yeah. I don't think he's run Boston. Has he run Boston? I don't know. But pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I doubt that I'll be able to like go hang out with him or anything like that. But it'll be cool. Hopefully that means that like, if I feel like the good thing about the Kipchoge thing, other than I just think it's cool, him running Tokyo for my own personal benefit, is that if he's announcing that he's like committing to Tokyo, that means that at least he and his team have been talking to the Tokyo Marathon and are thinking that it's sure enough of a thing to be able to like announce it, right? Because if they were still like, yeah, we don't know, then he might say like, well, I have to make a decision and I'm going to go somewhere else. So I think that's kind of good. Affluent Journeys is here for a happy hour with a recovery Malbec. There you go. That works. And Vincent Venera says, hey, Cohen fam, nice vid today. Thank you very much. All right, we got some emojis up here. So there's a question. Louis says, should I get several micro SD cards, 128 gigabytes, or get a bigger one per video on the Insta360? I think I have a 64 gigabyte micro SD card for the Insta360, and I've never filled it before. I've never drained the battery either. So I feel like at a certain point, like the battery is going to run out before the memory card, right? So I think it depends on like the size of the shots that you're taking. My clips are all usually really short, and I use the 3K setting so I can get 100 frames per second. So like 64 gigabytes has been plenty for me. Carlos Guerrero says, yo, daughter home in quarantine, so I am home too. At least I can catch this. Well, silver linings, I guess, right? Hopefully everyone's okay. Shannon says, hi, CoFamzy. Great chat with Tommy last night. I now debut amateur professional trophy husband. That's funny. Yeah, good to see you over there, Shannon, yesterday. For those of you that missed it, I was over on Tommy Run's the Eat, Sleep, Run show. I think that's the order of the words. I always mess it up. The Run, Eat, Sleep show. Eat, Sleep, Run show. I don't remember the order. He does them on Instagram Live. And then he also posts the audio to his podcast. So, yeah, we talked about not only being an amateur professional, but also how like my wife and I have a hard time kind of like every once in a while people will be like, yeah, so what do you do? And I don't want to be like, well, I used to be a consultant. So like I've been like, do I say stay-at-home dad? Do I say YouTuber? These days I just say YouTuber. But I've been trying to convinced my wife that we should start telling people like straight up that I'm a trophy husband, and my wife doesn't want anything to do with that. So I talk about it a little bit more. You'll guys have to, if you guys miss it, you'll have to listen to the podcast. I explained it in a little bit more detail, but yeah. Eric Permon's coming in from Colorado. What's going on, Eric? And Zamboni 22397 says he had a marathon PR at Rock and Roll Arizona on Sunday, 3:34. Awesome. We haven't rang the bell in such a long time. So great job, Zamboni. Now he's going back to the cold weather in St. Louis. Yeah. I mean, St. Louis does get a real winter, but it's not ever a really bad winter. It's a little, I mean, if I were to rank them, it's not as cold as Chicago and a little bit warmer than where I grew up on the East Coast. But yeah, it's still cold, especially compared to Arizona. All right, let me scroll down because I'm real far behind you guys. Sorry about that. Let's see. Jeff Ellie says, I'm on mute due to a conference call, but I think I'm going to have to take some rest days or weeks with a possible sports hernia. Hopefully I'll still be able to still do Zwift. Oh, man. Hopefully you're okay. Sports hernia. That sounds serious. All right. Yeah, Martha wants to know if Shannon and Zamboni know each other in St. Louis. I don't know. How big is the running community in St. Louis? I am Happy Pater says, I secretly enjoy having a trophy husband mug. Why do you have to secretly enjoy it? I feel like if you were a trophy husband, you should proudly display the trophy husband mug, right? So I feel like that's something, yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be a good gift that my wife maybe can give me at some point. But I feel like she will never give me that. She would not give me the pleasure. All right, JC says, half marathon Saturday. Looks to be about 20 degrees Fahrenheit to start. Age group winners get a free pair of features. If that's not an incentive, I don't know what is. There you go. You could put them on after the race because it's going to be cold. 20 degrees Fahrenheit is cold for a half marathon. Is that for the F3 marathon over here? No, is it? JC, I don't know. You're not local, are you? Joe Masters is here. Says, hello, Kofusians. What's going on, Joe? That's a nice sailboat you got in your picture over here. I like it. Mark Ingham says, yo, what's going on, fam? And Thomas Villa says, a little late to the game. What's in the glass? Is it electric? It's Gatorade Endurance formula. Lemon lime. I think the only difference between the regular Gatorade and the Gatorade Endurance is salt. There's more salt in it. But then I was looking at the packaging the other day a little bit more closely, and they're like, there's two kinds of sugars in here. And whenever they say there's multiple kinds of sugars, I think that they're implying that it absorbs faster because of like different metabolic pathways. But then again, I guess it depends on what two different kinds of sugars it is, right? So I haven't looked at it closely enough. I didn't stir this well enough either. There's a bunch of extra like powder at the bottom. That's okay. Oh, JC says he's doing the half marathon in McKinney, Texas. In McKinney, Texas is going to be 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I find that really hard to believe. I mean, I guess as you guys were just saying in Austin, it's really cold too. Carrie Smith says, is the Polar Grit X Pro the watch to buy at the moment? I don't know. I mean, I'm very tempted by the Phoenix 7. It's pretty expensive watch. But I'm also tempted by the Epics because I like the screen. It's very pretty. But I'm also like, I don't need the screens to be pretty for my running watch. I just really need to see numbers. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, the main reason I'm looking at the Phoenix is because of mapping. And if there's a nice vibrant screen like on the Epics, maybe that's the way to go. But then I'm like, it's going to take forever to get one of those new Garmin Phoenix 7. So maybe I should just get a Garmin 945. But I've been running in the Vantage V2. I really like that one. But like for someone that gets lost as much as I do, or as easily as I do, the breadcrumb mapping is not good enough. So like I was also looking at the Garmin like 7, I don't know what the recent 7 series is, and it only has like the breadcrumb mapping, and I don't think that's gonna cut it for me. So yeah, so I don't really think I need the Grit X Pro. I think the Vantage V2 does everything that I need to do in it. Affluent Journey says, would you size down on the Kinvara 12? Tried on today for some treadmill shoes, and the 10s were way loose. I haven't tried the 12, and I feel like the fit has changed on the shoes because I tried the 9 and the 11. The 9 fit very nicely for like a speed day shoe, kind of like a Rebel version 2, like that kind of shoe. The 11 felt like it was trying to be a bit more of a daily trainer, so more like kind of like a Rincon. So like I don't really know about the 12 myself because I haven't tried that one. Stevie76 says, bumper sticker, my trophy husband can beat up your trophy husband. Here's the problem, though. I can't beat up anybody. So that would be false. So my trophy husband can outrun your trophy husband. Maybe might be correct. But like it would have to also be like asterisk. And it'd be like if the distance is long enough. Probably not in a sprint. Oh, Avendrini says, when he says about sizing down in the Kinvara 12, he tried on for some treadmill shoes, and the size 10s were way loose. Yeah, I don't know. So I still don't know. Sorry about the Kinvara 12. All right. Jason Dahl says the F3 is the 29th. I'm still debating signing up. Okay. So then that is the weekend that I'm out of here. So, well, I guess if we don't go to Florida, maybe I'll try to sign up for that at the last minute. But I don't know. We talked about Florida yesterday. Some of you guys were like, yeah, we were just recently there. You're able to eat outside, so it's fine. And that's kind of like what I'm hoping to hear. But like they just keep, they go out of their way to make people feel uncomfortable about traveling to Florida, right? So I don't know. We'll have to see. Mika says, hello, yo, and Corday, tired muscles, so no running. Yeah, today was a day where I had 10 miles on the schedule. And when I finished the run today, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do a workout tomorrow. So I'm feeling tired too. So last week I had 3 workouts. The week before that I had 2. Last week was an 80-mile week. The week before that was like 73, 72-mile week maybe. So I'm tired. I don't know what workout. I'm probably going to do a mile repeats workout tomorrow. I don't know. It's probably going to be a little bit messy, but yeah, I know what you feel, but I'm also thinking like, well, we'll see how I feel tomorrow. If it's feeling real terrible, maybe I'll just take another rest day and then just kind of extend the schedule out. Cause I've been trying to go Wednesday, Friday, Sunday for 3 workouts in a week, but I've only been doing it for 1 week. I did it last week, but with higher mileage. So I'm like, I'm tired. I don't know if I can keep this up. But you know what I was hearing? I was listening to the Ali on the Run show podcast today, and she interviewed Callum Neff, the pacer for Kira D'Amato. And I said yesterday that he also paced Sarah Hall at Chicago. She paced Sarah Hall, but at the Marathon Project, not at Chicago. But anyway, Callum Neff was saying that Kira D'Amato didn't ask him to pace until like first week of December, which was, like a month and a half ago. And so he had to build up real quick, and his training to prepare to run what ended up being a PR for him in pacing Kira D'Amato to the American record. He averaged 33 miles a week. He says I spend a lot of time on the bike. So I'm guessing he probably was still putting in like 9-10 hours a week. But even then, for someone that's trying to run a 219, that's still not a lot of volume. And he's like, but I just did a really big block leading up to Chicago. So it's not like I'm going couch to marathon. So I was like, oh, okay. And so the takeaway that I'm taking from that is that I just did a buildup for CIM. So it's not like, I have to I'm not starting from scratch, so maybe it's okay to take a little extra rest day. We'll see. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. Ben Young is here, says, yo, first comment. Hey, Kofuzi Run Club. What's going on, Ben? And Mika says, I'm absolutely loving my Grid X Pro. Does everything I need, and as a bonus, it's really stylish for everyday wear with a leather strap. Ooh, I've never seen anyone put a replacement strap on their Polar Watch before. Maybe I should try that. Did you guys know I lost my Polar Grid X Pro? I'm trying to think, where did I lose it? I lost it in a hotel. What was the last trip I went on? Oh, did I? I think. Oh yeah, I lost it in Sacramento. I left it in the hotel. I checked out of my hotel room. I got maybe. I think I hadn't even ordered my Uber yet. But where did I went somewhere. Oh, I checked out of my hotel, had stored my luggage with like the belt, like the desk, and then I went back to the beer garden, and I hung out there for maybe an hour, and then I came back to go to the airport, and then I was like, oh hey, can I go back up in that room? I think I left something up in there. And in that hour, maybe it was 2 hours, the room had already been turned over and cleaned, and there was no watch. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, is there a lost and found? And they're like, you can file like a report or something. I'm not sure how it works. And I was like, okay, I don't know. I'll try. But I lost my Polar Grid X Pro. But I still have the Vantage V2. So I've been running with that lately. I really want this stuff at the bottom of my cup to mix in, but I don't think it's going to at this point. And I wish I had another whole entire glass. I'm so thirsty. All right, let me keep scrolling down. Luis says, have you seen Jamie run on the Hoka Cielo track shoes? IG story, elite jogger. Yeah, I just saw that. I put it in the story. Jamie put it in his story that he's taken over the Hoka account today. I think that's awesome. I haven't checked out any of the stories yet, though. But yeah, that track bike looks good. It looks real good. Ken Fab says, I got lost running in South Jersey a couple months ago, and I had to stop and ask someone for directions. Is how that ends? I don't know how it ends. Ken. Surely you're okay, though. I guess it depends on where in South Jersey you got lost. All right. Daniel M says, everyone bring their trophy husbands to the Disney Marathon and let them sort it out there as the gods intended. Yeah, you know what's funny is when I went on that Disney cruise, I was sizing up the potential competition for the 5K because I knew there was going to be a 5K once we docked at Disney's Island in the Bahamas somewhere. And so every morning at breakfast, I would see all the dads. A lot of times it was dads with the kids at breakfast. But I was like, all right, there you go, dads. Let mom sleep in. Good job. Right. And so I'm seeing all the dads help the kids out at the breakfast buffet and stuff. And I'm seeing lots of track club t-shirts. And I'm like, that guy looks fast. That guy looks fast. That guy looks fast. And he's just sitting down. So I would see all that. I'm like, these guys are going to be real fast in this 5K. But I'm thinking, when it came beach time to get on the island, I don't think that they wanted to race. So I did not see them at the race. I didn't really see them at the gym or running around. There's a deck of the ship that you can run around on. I didn't really see a lot of other people there. It might have just been the time I was running, but yeah, that's funny if that became a thing where where it got really competitive with the families and all the dads were going up against each other. That'd be funny. Let's keep going further. Tracy says, yes, I was in Florida for a race. Massive eye rolling at anyone wearing a mask. If that's as bad as it gets, I'll take eye rolling. That's fine. Ken Pfaff says, got lost running in South Jersey a couple months ago and had to stop and ask some town workers where the heck I was and how to get back to my father-in-law's house. That sounds like something that I would do. But my version would be do you guys know how to get to Julius's house? Anybody? You guys know Julius? Worked for John Deere for 40 years. That guy. And they'd be like, we know 6 people that work for John Deere for 40 years. So that probably how that goes. But can you just point me towards the direction of the church? Because they live by this giant Catholic church. It's easy to find. Yeah. I can relate to that, Ken. I can relate to that. Brendan says, "Good afternoon. Hope you're all doing well. Just finished a kettlebell workout. I'm glad I did it alone at home. I'm so uncoordinated." I remember the first time I saw kettlebells, it was I was running along the lakefront. This is a long time, maybe like 2016, maybe 2015. And they had just at this one point in the lakefront, they had built this giant concrete pad. And for a while, they had set up walls on it, like in a hockey rink. And then for the summer, they would have it set up so people could play roller hockey in there. That lasted for like a season. I'm guessing that it didn't go over well because they took that, like after that season, the walls never came back up. And the following season, people could rent out the space, or I don't know if people were just hopping up on the space. It could have been either one. And I saw these people like swinging these things around. I'm like, what the heck is this? And I'm like, I don't even understand what's happening here. This is the craziest fitness trend I've ever seen. And I thought it was, to me, if the first time seeing it, like having never seen anyone else do it before or knowing anything about it, I thought it reminded me, I'm like, oh, this is like the next evolution of shake weights. Like, what is this? I don't understand this. And now it's like a very real thing. And I'm like, okay, I just didn't know. But it really caught me by surprise. And now that space is in the summertime, it's like a restaurant. They put like this giant tent over it. It's like one of those permanent tents, but it's not permanent, but it's the kind that can stand up and stay there for months at a time. You put that on there, and there's like a restaurant and bar that you can go hang out in. They're trying to figure out what to do with that concrete pad. But that's what it is now. And that's the first time I ever saw anyone do kettlebells. And I was just thinking about that yesterday because I was watching a Taryn Gessel video. And he and his wife had brought kettlebells to like the local beach. I was like, yeah, that's got to be real weird for other people to see. Like a couple of people just like throwing these weights around or swinging them around anyway. And then it reminded me of that. First time I ever saw it. I don't think I've ever picked up a kettlebell before. Sue Ends here says, "Hey everybody, nice to catch a live stream today." Yeah, you know what I forgot to do today? I forgot to make a post on the regular YouTube page. But it looks like we've got a decent number of people in here today. So I feel like, all the regulars have kind of made the switch and made the transition. So hopefully we've got everyone, Eric says, "Seeing the ortho on Tuesday for the shin issue. Hope to get a diagnosis. Haven't run since 12/20. Oh, that's a bummer. Hoping that rest lessens the time off for the ortho. Suggests supposed to start CLA training. Oh, 131. Is that Cleveland, Eric? On 131. All right. I mean, that's a long time to be on rest. So hopefully you get some good answers today." Carlos Griego saying, "I'm getting used to the treadmill running. Noticing my easier pace feels harder on it than on the road." Yeah, I feel like the treadmill is weird to me. Easy paces feel harder on the treadmill than they do on the road. Harder, it's the opposite for harder paces. Like when I want to like really get in a workout, I feel like the treadmill is making so much noise. It's shaking and I am like nearing maxing it out. It feels like, even when I'm not, but it just feels like it's about to like start rattling apart. And then I'll be like, I can run faster than this a lot, you know. So I'm like, I don't understand it. So I think there's just a lot of kind of like mental things that just the speed seems different. I guess just you're looking at things that are different, I guess. All right, let's keep scrolling down a little bit further. Midlife Runner says, "How's the dog? I feel like we should keep asking to ensure he will live another decade." He's doing okay. I mean, he's still having a lot of accidents and stuff. He had one last night. And I feel like, I'm trying not to be mad at him about it. It's super annoying, because he's just peeing all over the place. And I'm like, we've got kids out of diapers now. I just don't want to deal with pee anymore. I'm too old for that. And I mean, like he just peed like right in the middle of the floor, like with all of us there. But I feel like I think he's a little bit like just getting in, not incontinent, but like having a harder time holding it. And I did walk him earlier in the afternoon than I normally did, and it was getting to be later in the evening. So maybe that's what it was. But at the same time, the other thing that happened was my daughter and I went downstairs to go get the laundry, and he was very eager to come with us. And I didn't let him come with us. I never let him come with us, but he thought we were going outside and he was like, I want to go too. And I was like, no, you're staying here. So I feel like he also maybe waited until we got back and then peed in front of my face. So I can't tell. So that's like my relationship with my dog in a nutshell. I'm trying to be gentle to him, even though I'm very upset with him. And he may either be doing the best he can or spiting me. I'm not sure. So that's where things are with the dog. Right now, he's in his happy place. There's lots of really great sun coming into the apartment, and he's just taking a nap in the sunshine on the carpet. He's having a good day today. Lucas H says Tommy runs lost his Koros for the same hotel reason. Got clean super quick and watch is gone. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. I usually lose something when I go to a hotel. Usually it's the toothbrush. That's the most expensive thing that I lost at a hotel. So yeah. Scotty B says, hey all, checking in from Minnesota. Hope you're staying warm up there, Scotty. Yeah. Because it's cold down here. Eric says, the endorphins, the speeds, and the pros just spoiled my feet for Saucony. Nothing else in Saucony lineup excites me right now. I'm curious about the Exodus Ultra and the new Triumph 20. Yeah, I mean, that Power Run PB is really nice. It's so good. And it's like, on the one hand, you're like, put it in all the shoes. On the other hand, you're like, but then the endorphin speed and pro might not feel as special. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like Nike's starting to try it with the Zoom X. They're starting to put it in everything, right? So maybe Saucony will start putting Power Run PB and everything too. I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's keep going. Frank says the best. You guys are talking about. Some of you guys are talking about it in the chat, like watching the live stream on mute because you're at work. And Frank says the best day to watch a live stream muted is Tuesday. You can still guess on the trivia. Oh, I guess that makes sense because I'll type out the question that's on the bottom. So there you go. There you go. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'll have to make sure I always do the trivia Tuesday then. Midlife Runner wants to know, do I do progressive long runs? I don't usually. I basically have like a handful of paces that I like to run at, like easy, marathon pace, threshold pace, and then strides. I used to do a lot of half marathon pace work too, and not as much threshold work. And I would do that in my long runs, but I feel like at this point, I think that the better benefit for me is to do more work at threshold pace or threshold effort. So like, doing runs where it slowly gets faster over time. Like, one, I have a hard time executing that because I'm really bad at pacing. And two, I think there's probably a lot of mental benefit to it. But I'm not sure if it's as good of a physiological benefit. I don't know. I mean, if I had a coach that would prescribe them, I would run them and I would get good at them. But I would rather do a run that had more marathon pace in it. But I suppose like it's kind of just a different way of doing like a tempo run. I mean, I don't have anything against it. I just don't do them in my kind of normal diet, I guess. JC says mukbang next Monday. Seems like it's been a while since we got to watch you eat. Yes, I'm definitely planning. I've got some big plans for the Monday mukbang. I'll leave it as a surprise. Also, that way, if I can't make it happen, then it won't be too big of a disappointment. But I've got a couple of ideas, so it's going to require me to go drive somewhere to pick it up. So I'm going to try to make sure I get that done. That's going to require that I make sure I get my Monday video done early, so that way I can just go for my run, get back, head out to go pick up what I want to get, and then we'll be back. So that's what the plan is for Monday. Jeff Elliott says, I'm still in awe of that woman that ran Dopey's challenge and won every race in costume. Yes, did you listen? She was interviewed on Allie on the Run show. So Allie interviewed her, and it's certainly amazing that she ran all those and won all of them, and also did wear a costume for each one. But she's a professional runner too. So I thought that this was just like someone that was like kind of like a Kira D'Amato story, but maybe early on in the Kira D'Amato kind of story type of thing, where it's like, yeah, she used to be a runner. She ran cross country D1, years ago, took a break, and now just decided that like she wants to do this dopey challenge and ended up you know what I mean? I thought that was the story. So the story was a little bit different than what I had thought, but I mean, still really impressive and fun. Do you guys hear that? Like, I don't know what that is. It's like rumbling. But yeah, but that was fun. I didn't finish re-listening to the whole thing. I think I listened to most of that one. But that was a good one. Ben Young says, I'm using a 10-day schedule right now for training. 2 days easy between workouts or long runs. I wonder if Kofuzi tried 10-day weeks. I have considered it quite a bit. I really enjoy workout recovery easy, like that. Like, so I would ideally love a 9-day schedule. And I mean, really, my schedule could probably handle that, because of my work, YouTubing is a lot more flexible time-wise. But long runs on Sunday still really work for me, you know? And I also like the idea of having a long run on Sunday because that's usually a race day. Now, certainly there's ways that you can kind of still have, you know, that Sunday race day kind of acclimation. It doesn't have to be every single Sunday. It could just be like the last 5 Sundays before a race, right? So I've been thinking about it. I'd like to switch over to it. I think that, now that I'm getting older, that might be the more prudent thing to do rather than just keep hammering away at these like workout, rest, long run, and then 2 recovery days. So that's certainly wearing on me. So I've been thinking about it. It's just so hard for I think it's hard for a lot of people to really adopt, I think. Brandon Lewis wants to know what's the best shoe for kettlebells. My guess is probably something like Metcons, like cross trainers. I think like Zero Shoes, right? Isn't that the company? XERO, Zero Shoes. I feel like those shoes would probably be really good at it. Adam says, did you see Molly's video from the cross country championships? Even if you suck in this race, it does not mean you suck. It just means you're getting there. Embrace the suck. Yeah, I did see that video. It was nice. It was really nice. I enjoy that she decided that she needed to get her haircut like right away that day and ended up going to like a Sport Clips. I can relate to that. And then she was ultimately like unhappy with the cut. And so it's like, I can also relate to that. She was just very relatable. But that was a good video. The only thing I wished is that I wish there was photographs from the race, but it would have been nice if there was some footage from the race. And you would think that someone, I guess photos is great, but I don't know. And keep scrolling. Man, you guys are getting real active in the chat, which I love. Ben Young says about a 10-day training plan. He says, my schedule as a student working only part-time helps. Yeah. The 10th day is off. I see that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so he goes you're basically doing a 9-day schedule like I was talking about. What with the 10th day of rest? Ooh. Then you're resting like twice every 20 days, or I guess twice every 29 days if you think about it that way. It's tempting. Adam says there's a Beatles training plan 8 days a week. That's a good one. I like that joke. Where's this button? We haven't used that button in a long time. I just thought it was funny that listening to the Alley on the Run Show podcast with Cal Neff, Cal said that like to prepare to pace Kira D'Amato, he tried to memorize a bunch of dad jokes. So I think that's really amazing. And it reminds me of like, the way that people like pacers for ultra marathons like get ready. They like they're like, all right, I gotta have something in my back pocket in case it gets real dark, like figuratively speaking. And I gotta have jokes. I gotta have good story. Like I think that's like the pacers, can't help you with fluids or nutrition, at least not on a road race. But they can help you in so many other ways. I think that's fun. Oh yeah, Adam says it might be that she wasn't allowed to use video footage because of the USATF, 5K championships, like kind of like Boston. Maybe that's possible, I guess. And I suppose someone that is like going to get as many views as she does would have to be more careful about that. But then again, like Serious Runner wasn't getting like 1 million views on that. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's a good point, Adam. I really hope that's not the case because that's a pretty dumb reason, I think. But yeah, I don't know. People have done weird things with copyright. Oh, Carlos says, what is the name of the podcast you keep mentioning? I want to add it to my running playlist. Alley on the Run Show. Alley Feller, A-L-I. Feller is the host, and it's called the Alley on the Run Show. It's really good. I mean, I feel like it's probably one of the most popular running podcasts right now. I mean, she's interviewed everybody. And I feel like if she wanted, I feel like she could probably interview at least anyone in American running. If she wanted to interview them, everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, of course." And Adam says like having a bunch of dad jokes ready is just like pacing an ultra. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, but I don't think you are. But that's one thing that I like about. I feel like pacers and ultras, have to be very in tune with not just like the minutes per mile. They have to be very in tune with what's going on with their runner, and I just really like that team aspect of it. There's something about that that's very appealing to me. Kit says, I think the Nike Free Run are good weight training shoes. What do you think about the Nike Free RN for running? Nike lists those shoes. It's one of Nike's few shoes that are like a 5mm drop. And they list those shoes as being great for runs up to 3 to 5 miles. So it's one of the only shoes that Nike will also say like has a distance limit. And they developed that shoe it started out as part of like the minimalist craze, the Born to Run minimalist shoe movement. And they were like, yeah, we noticed that our Stanford track athletes and cross country athletes loved doing their warm-ups and cool downs on the golf course, and they were running barefoot. And so we really wanted to study that. And they were like making no mention of the fact that they were like, this is also like tagging along at the same time as the minimalist running craze. But they were like, we've been studying our runners at Stanford for decades. And so they made this shoe, and it's supposed to be much more flexible and much more natural. And even though it has a decent stack height and a 5mm drop, it's supposed to be like the most minimal running shoe you can get from Nike. So if you want something that's along those lines, then I think the Free RN is there's a Free Run, and then there's the Free RN. I don't know what the difference is between the two, frankly. I was just thinking about them though the other day, because someone was walking around in a pair of them that had a really nice knit uppers. That was back when Nike made really good knit uppers. Oh, I was like, maybe I should get one of those just for walking around, because that knit looks really good. So that's my thoughts on the Nike like free. Um, Adam says, do it. Pace at Leadville. You're allowed to mule, carry their gear, water, food there, unlike most other ultras. Oh, you are? Oh, cool. I have to check the dates on Leadville and the rest of my calendar. That sounds like a really fun adventure. I think Hella Good is running Leadville again this year. Or no, he didn't run it last year, but he went. Did he run it last year? I can't remember. But I think he's running it this year. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that I know that's running out there. Eric Tripp says, you plan on extending your trip to Japan to do some sightseeing vlogging either before or after the race? Can't wait for these Tokyo vids. If it's permitted. I get the sense, I think that they've just extended COVID protocols in Tokyo and several other is prefectures the right word? For a period of 3 weeks. So they're like, we're like, ramping up or clamping down or however you want to phrase it, strengthening COVID measures for a period of 3 weeks. So they don't call them state of emergencies. They call them like quasi states of emergencies or whatever. And my guess is they're trying to make the numbers look really good in the lead up to the cutoff time for making a decision on the Tokyo Marathon. That's what I think it is. I think the Tokyo Marathon is that big a deal over there. So I think they're trying to make it so that way people can come. If I go over there, I think that there's a possibility that I might be able to go to like ASICS headquarters in Japan. I'm told that there's like a really awesome like ASICS museum that's super cool to check out. So like I really want to go see all that. You'd have to ride a bullet train, which I really want to do. And so yeah, so there's potential, but it's all like, got a big cloud hanging over all of it. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right. Frank says it's August 19th. Adam says August 20 to 21. I think that those dates might work. I have to double check my calendar. Let me write it down. Leadville. Check Leadville dates. See, I've got a list here of things. The other things that are on this list that I have to look into further is the ID tech camps. I think Adam was telling me about that. And then the Garmin Club, that you can run the Paris Marathon for the Olympics in 2024 if you like rack up enough Garmin miles. It's one of the main reasons I want to get a Phoenix 7 or any Garmin at this point, just to make sure I can log enough miles to maybe do that. But anyway, I'll have to look up that to see what else. There's another big event that I'm going to be doing hopefully in August. I got to check the dates on that. Jason said, my wife and I got married in a matching pairs of Nike Frees. They never ran in them though. Ooh. I'll like maybe for like a certain anniversary, you'll have to bust them out again and then go for a run, maybe. Kind of like with you say the top layer of a wedding cake and you eat it like on the 1 year. My wife never did that. I don't remember why, but there's a story. I'll have to ask her. Something happened to the top layer of our wedding cake. And then, no, you know what I think it is? So our baker, who was around the corner, so a local bakery, was like, and here's what we do. We make a lot of wedding cakes, and we think that our cakes are delicious. But no cake is delicious when it's a year old after it's been in your freezer. So we'll make you a new one, a new top layer for your 1 year anniversary. And we're like, great. So I don't think we saved any cake. I don't remember actually eating any of that cake. Other than like the ceremonial piece that you or like the bite that you have. And then the bakery went out of business. And the space is still empty today. It's just been an empty store. Well, it tried to being a couple different things, but it's basically empty. So I've never tried my wedding cake. Or we didn't do like the 1 year anniversary. But if you got Nike Frees, I feel like you should at least go for like a nice little stroll. Sunset stroll kind of thing. That'd be nice. If you still have the shoes. Frank says that Tokyo might see how the Olympics goes. Yeah, I think though that like the Olympics starts after the date that Tokyo has said it was going to make a decision. Because I think that the Olympics start like February, not like the 1st, but maybe like the 9th, I want to say, 5th. And that's right around when. So I mean, they'll have more information too. But yeah, Stevie 76 with the Shinkansen. Is that a bullet train emoji? I can't tell. But yeah, I really want to ride the bullet train. Because we're never gonna get one in the United States. There's no way. But yeah. Yeah, I hope to try one. Yeah, Daniel M says like the post marathon Sapporo or Asahi is gonna hit different. It sure will. I usually only have Sapporo when I eat either. I think it works well. Back when I used to eat fried chicken, it works well with fried food, and it works well with like rice, like Asian food. But like, of course, but um, I always eat food when I have Sapporos. I don't think I've ever just like sat back and had a Sapporo to drink, but I will that day, or an Asahi, whichever one. If there is that, I don't know. I don't know if there's. I don't know if there is there a beer garden after the Tokyo Marathon. Does anyone know? I'm not sure. I will let you guys know though, for sure. Mm. All right. Eric says, "Ha, yeah, I tried last week to bait Kofuji Run Club to pace at Leadville 100, but it's a serious commitment and usually nighttime running." Yeah. See, I'm not. I don't know. I feel like if nighttime running is part of the pacing duties, I'm like, maybe I'm not the best person for this. I got to get better at that. But I mean, Eric, if you're really looking for a pacer, hopefully someone here can help you, even if it has to be me. We'll have to figure it out. We'll figure that out, Eric. Yeah. Adam says for Beijing, they're telling U.S. Olympic athletes not to bring their phones with any personal data, but a burner instead. Yeah, you know what? I think that another thing is for people that are going to the Olympics, they have to download an app that essentially tracks you the whole time for health reasons. So that way, like for contact tracing. So, yeah. So like, I mean, I feel like they're tracking you is like a given. But who knows what else they'll have there? I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's like, is that something we really need to be worried about? Or is that, sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. But that's not a very, like, I mean, that's not something to take lightly though. JC says bullet train coming to Texas someday, we hope. I really thought we might get one in Illinois when Barack Obama was president. I'm like, for sure there'll be like a bullet train that goes from like Chicago to St. Louis. I feel like that would be a good one. And I think even if there was a rail line from Chicago to Dubuque, that would be really helpful. Or Chicago to, like, I think that there's a way to get to like Minneapolis by train, but not directly. So I feel like those kinds of connecting those kinds of corridors would be more important. The Dubuque one probably not that important, but it would have been useful for me. But yeah, but I feel like there's it's going to take too many people to agree on stuff for that to happen in not, at least not in the Midwest. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being pessimistic. Cody Davis says, "Have you ever regretted a shoe choice for a race?" Sure, I sure have. When I ran Houston, I ran in the Carbon Rocket. It was like a 24 millimeter stack height shoe, 1 millimeter drop, with like an old generation compression molded EVA. The carbon plate was great. It was a great shoe for 5Ks. And I was like, I'm going to try to race a marathon in this. I think I could do it. And I did. It just was a terrible race. It's not the shoe's fault. It was my fault, but the shoes didn't help. That was not a great choice. Frank says the problem with letting Co pace you is that there's going to be a video of you looking bloody miserable on YouTube. Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you didn't want it to be, then I wouldn't. Then it would just be about me pacing, but there'd probably be at least a little bit of you in the video too. But, I think I'd put you in the most flattering light possible. Mm. See, Shannon thinks that if if I were the pacer, I'd get you off. I would get you lost. Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, I got lost on a. I mean, I guess I'm not selling up or upselling my skills very well, but I got lost on a 50K course that had markers every quarter mile. So over the 30 miles, there was 120 course markings, and well, I mean, it was a looped course, so there was 60 course markings, and I still made a wrong turn and got lost a little bit. I didn't get lost, but I accidentally cut the course. There was like a little loop that I was supposed to go over, and I just blew right past it the first time. The second time I hit it, and I was like, "Oh, I don't remember doing this the first time." So, so yeah, I'm not good at running at night. I very easily get lost. I'm probably not the best pacer. But if you want someone to carry a camera around for you on your race, I'm your man. Uh, all right. I think that's a good place to leave it for today, guys. Although Adam says it's very hard to get lost at Leadville. Not impossible, hard. Hold my Martin drink. I'll get you lost. Don't worry. But good to know. Very good to know. That's going to be it for today. Tomorrow we'll have a video. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be about, but there will be something in the morning for you guys. And then it's Friday. We'll have one more live stream for the week. Same time as today, 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you guys then. Until then, stay warm and safe out there, everybody. Thanks.